Hello, everyone. You are welcome to Anchor Network, where you get reliable and authentic news that are so crucial to you. I say big thank you to everyone who has been part of this channel and who has taken time to subscribe. And if you are yet to subscribe, I say please click the red subscribe button and also the bell icon. The bell icon will allow you to get notified anytime we publish any news. Gbajabiamila proposes bill seeking to allow President-elect Vice move into villa before inauguration. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, has proposed a bill seeking to allow a president-elect and his vice move into the presidential villa before their swearing in. The first bill, introduced in 2016, is titled Presidential Transition, BL 2016. Specifically, the bill seeks to make provision for the smooth and orderly transfer of power from one government to another. It has a long title, a bill for an act to provide for the smooth and orderly transfer of power from one government to another, and other related matters thereto. However, the bill jettisoned afterwards was reintroduced in July this year, barely 1 month after Gbajabiamila was elected as the Speaker of the House in the current Ninth National Assembly. The general principle of the bill obtained by our correspondent states that upon the declaration of the winner of a presidential election as the president-elect, he shall after 2 weeks move into the presidential villa, especially where he did not succeed himself. In the case where the incumbent president dies not succeed himself, he shall within the period make accommodation available for the president-elect, his vice, and 10 others aides. Below is the synopsis of the bill, which shall come under debate when enlisted for second reading in the House. General purpose of the bill. Section 1 of 1. When at any general election for the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the incumbent president is not re-elected, the president shall within 2 weeks of the declaration of the president-elect as the winner of the election provide space for not more than 10 persons designated by the president-elect to begin a review and analysis of budgeted expenditures during the tenure of the current president. Review all other necessary documents as may be requested by the president-elect transition team, and to acquire a working knowledge of the various offices, departments, commissions, boards, and other agencies of the executive arm of the federal government, with a view to promote the orderly transition of the executive power in connection with the expiration of the term of office of a president and the inauguration of a new president. Secondly, the president shall also constitute his transition team, who must cooperate with the president-elect and the staff he is so designated, and provide any assistance that may be reasonably requested. 3. The provisions of the section shall apply at all times after each general elections, whether or not the power change is within the same party or from one party to another. 4. The purpose of this act, the president shall include the vice president and the president-elect shall include the vice president-elect. Section 2 of 1. The president shall provide for the president-elect in connection with the preparation of his assumption of office as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria the following facilities: A. Office space well furnished and equipped with all relevant machines and electronics within the presidential villa to enhance smooth working relationship with the president's team. Such equipment shall include, but not limited to, computer, laptops, printers, binding machines, papers, communications services to aid the transition team in achieving the objectives of the Act. B. Payment of allowances for members of the president-elect team at such rates as may be determined by the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission to cater for the team, and such rate must not exceed what is obtainable in the civil service. provided that any employee of any agency or department of government may be drafted to be part of the transition team of either of the president or president-elect, and he shall continue to be entitled to such compensation provided by law for his regular employment, and shall be entitled to the rights and privileges associated with his regular employment without any interruption, and provided that in appointing the transition team, the president-elect shall consider key areas requiring professional and expert input to the extent that extra funds shall not be provided by the state to hire the services of professionals outside the transition team. C. Payment of travel expenses and subsistence allowances. Appointment and Administrator General. Section 4 of 1. There shall be appointed an Administrator General who shall oversee the transition process after each general election. 2. The Administrator General shall be appointed by the President subject to ratification by the Senate. Other thing is that functions of the Administrator General. Section 5 of 1. The Administrator General shall A. Be the head of government estates and shall take and keep an inventory of all assets and properties of the government, which assets and properties not vested in the governor of the state as provided by the Land Use Act 1978. B. To ensure that all assets and properties of government are maintained and are in good condition. C. To ensure that they were relevant, such assets and properties are transferred from the incumbent government to the new government in good condition. Make recommendations for the president for budgetary allocation required in a transition for passing the reins of power from one government to another. Ensure that all budgetary documents and other relevant documents requested for by the president-elect are provided without any delay, and to ensure that the facilities required to be provided by the transition team of the president-elect are provided. F. Immediately after the new president is sworn in, initiate and commence the prosecution of any person who breaches any provision of this act. Section 5 of 2. The Administrator General shall be removed by the President on the ground of gross misconduct subject to ratification by the Senate. Another subheading is authorization of appropriations. Section 6 of 1. It is hereby authorized to be appropriated to the Administrator General such funds as may be necessary to carry out the purposes of this act, not exceeding the sum of 100 million naira, only for any one presidential transition for this fiscal year in which the transition occurs. 2. The President shall include in the budget transmitted to the National Assembly for each fiscal year in which his term of office expires a proposed appropriation for carrying out the purposes of this act, provided that in the event that the incumbent president is re-elected, the funds so appropriated shall not be disbursed. Another section of what is trying to the bill is that criminal liability. Section 7 of 1. Any person who violates any provision of this act by failing to provide the necessary facilities required to be provided under this act, or fails to provide any required documents, thereby frustrating the efforts of the transition team, shall upon conviction be liable to a fine of 10 million naira or a term of imprisonment of not less than 6 months, or to both fine and imprisonment as the case may be. So guys, I always say it. Let me say it the way we really understand. I said it that these guys now yeah B. That is what they did. That's what they are always passing. Yeah B. Is this bill gonna put food on the table of the masses with all the problems that we have now? See the kind of bill they are passing. One thing I've always said, the issue that the president is the one that we elect or that we appoint INEC chairman. The president will be the one to appoint the CGN, most especially that INEC chairman. So whose bidding do you think the INEC chairman, if the president appoints appoint somebody as the INEC chairman, whose bidding is it going to, follow if there's going to be an election? You guys tell me. They need to change that. Secondly, appointing CGN, and thirdly, the head of EFCC. All those strategic positions. Why is it that it is the president that will be appointing them? Why can't they change this constitution? And also again, let's leave that one. If that's what they really want to go, at least they should go in that line if really they are really serious about this thing. Because when the president appoints a EFCC chairman, so you think the EFCC man will not want to fight the corruption the way it ought to, even if people under him, under the president that elected him or that appointed him himself, are into one corruption act or the other. You expect that kind of EFCC chairman to go after those people. It's not going to be possible. Or maybe there's a kind of judgment, between the federal government and the masses or whatever, or the state. You expect the chief judge in his right senses to be able to do the bidding, not to do the bidding of the president. So those are the things that we are even talking about. And most especially, let's come to ourselves. Why is it that these senators, or what they call themselves, cannot even say, let us, propose a bill to give from primary school to secondary school free education? When we say free education, they will tell you, okay, we have free education. We mean quality education, that it will compel every state to build a world standard school in their state. And secondly, that from university, let them be giving anybody who is interested going into university, let them give them a student loan. And also, if you are not employed, there's a certain amount of money you are supposed to be getting until you get employed. And most importantly, there's something I really need to talk about. This issue of a database. We don't have a standard, comprehensive database. We saw what happened in Lagos the other time when some 123 northern youths came from the north, to Lagos, and they were stopped and harassed, asking them questions. At the end of the day, those ones are saying they are going to sue the Lagos state government for harassing them. But before then, the Lagos state government said they have profiled them. Profiled them with what? How? Are their names in the database? Or can you say of a fact that they were coming from Jigawa state? They have their names in the database in Jigawa state. How did they profile them? You can imagine. Those are the bills that we expect these guys to be passing or propose this bill in the first place. Let us have a comprehensive database. If we have a comprehensive database, a lot of these crimes, committed here and there will be reduced to a very large extent. Now you are not giving university students loans. Even people that are even working, if they cannot be able to, their salary cannot even take them, even home, not to talk of it, to take them throughout the month. There should be a kind of process that we, to augment what they are receiving. Those bills, is far from all these people. These bills are far from all these people. We can see the money they are quoting, this and that. What has that got to do with what we have? Even the ones that they have been doing, of what use is it to us now with the problem, security issue, security things? They are not even making proposal, on how to curb all of those insecurity that we are experiencing now. You can imagine, bill. That is just what they are there to propose and to pass. Bill. Is this one bill that will move the country forward? You talk of a ease of doing business in the country. Is it a kind of bill? And you can imagine now they are saying some people connive and did some all manner of things. Some people sign some whatever contract. Now we are supposed to pay $9.6 billion. How did that happen? With all even the laws that are on ground, with the way the constitution have been marked, yet those kind of a thing happening at that high level. You can imagine. See the YB. Now they will be coming when it's election time. They will be coming. I don't think what they just did. These guys are overfed. They are just vomiting. When you are overfed, you will not even be hungry. You just be vomiting. When you are overfed, you'll be vomiting. That is just what is happening. They are overfed. They don't have time to think for you. They don't have that time to be thinking about you or something that will benefit you. So, guys, I would like to hear from you what you think about this bill that this Gbajabiamila, if I'm calling it rightly, Gbajabiamila is proposing that he wants them to pass. You can imagine. Please leave your comments below in the comment section. Thank you very much. Bye.